Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
I'm Marylou.
I'm Jude. For Math Homework Help, call in Bakersfield 636-4357. Everywhere else, 1-866-636-6284. Email dothemath@kern.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, nicely done. So where do you go to school and what grade are you in?
Twitter. I'm in Columbia.
All right. And so you're at Columbia and what grade are you in?
4th.
How is fourth grade?
Good.
What is the best thing about fourth grade, do you think?
Recess.
Oh, there you go, recess, right? I like that.
Yep, that was
Fast,
mine.
easy recess, all right? So what kinds of things have you done in math class so far this year?
Decimals and division.
And you feel pretty comfortable with that stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Is there anything that you think you've done in math that you think you need a little bit of extra help with, or has everything been pretty good so far?
I kind of forgot how to do area and perimeter.
Okay, well maybe we'll do one of those today. Help you out with that? How's that sound?
Good.
All right, but we're going to get to some of the stuff that you're working on first. But before we do any of that, I need you to help me with today's social media problem of the day. You ready? All right, let's take a look at it together. It's up on the screen. So it says, what is this ratio as a percent? So it says 3/20, so that's a fraction. And we need to turn it into a percent. So what do you think we should do first?
Divide it.
So we want to go 3 divided by 20?
No. Wait. I don't really know.
Okay, so when you think of percents, what is the highest percent you can get if you were taking a test, let's say?
100.
100%, right? So we want to get things to be 100 because percent is per 100.
Uh,
So we look at the bottom and it's 20. So how can we go from 20 to 100 pretty quickly?
I don't really know.
Okay, let's count by 20s, right? So 20,
40,
there you go.
60, 80, 100.
There we go, so it's 5 times, right?
Yeah.
So if we go 20 times 5, we're going to get to 100.
Yeah.
So when we have fractions, whatever we do on the bottom or the top, we do to the other one. So if we multiply 20 times 5, we're going to go 3 times 5 also. So do you know what 3 times 5 is?
15.
15, all right. So do we have a 15% up there anywhere?
Yeah.
Which one do you see?
C.
Yeah, C. Which one do you see? C. I see C there, old man. I'm telling you right now, it's C. All right. So does that kind of make sense to you?
Yeah.
If we have 3/20, it's the same thing as something over 100. So we had to go from 20 to 100, so we multiplied by 5. So we multiplied the 3 times 5, and we got 15. So you're saying 15% is correct?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look and see if indeed C is correct. There you go, first one done. Do it all nice and easy, huh? You like that?
Yeah.
There you go, I like that too, first one done. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year, but today is the final day for our 22nd season of Do the Math. So once kids go on spring break next week, most kids, I don't want to say all kids because I'm not sure of everybody's schedule, but a lot of kids go on spring break next week. And then they're involved in a lot of activities, and this is when we end our season.
So sad.
Right, but you were on the first show this year, and you're
Yes.
on the last show this year. So nice to have you around the whole year.
Always do like to be here.
So I just want to make sure that most kids know that because somebody may be watching and they're like, we'll tune in today and see what's going on, or if I have a math problem.
Definitely call.
You can try emailing it and we'll kind of check on that. But as far as the live broadcast goes, today is the final day for our 22nd full season of Do the Math and our partially 23rd season, because we started in the middle of a year during year 1. So anyway, that programming note out of the way, let's take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, today's Math in the News has to do with something coming up in a little bit of time right now, Solar Eclipse 2024. Were you aware of this?
I saw a little bit of information on it, but I'm really not real aware of what's going on.
All right, so Jude, do you have any idea what an eclipse is, a solar eclipse?
I think it's when like the planets line up.
Yeah, you're right on track, dude, right? We need planets lining up and stuff like that. So let's take a look at what's going on. So what is a solar eclipse? It happens when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, obscuring the view of the sun from the Earth totally or partially. And we can see from the illustration down below where we've got the Earth all the way over here. There's the sun on the far left. And when the moon is directly between the two of them, that's when we have an eclipse. So let's take a look at the next. Here is where on April 8th, coming up on April 8th. Now in California, we're not going to be able to check this out, but there are people that travel from all around the world to get in to a certain spot of the United States or Canada or Mexico to be able to view the solar eclipse. So we can see with this banded area right here where you'll be able to best see the total solar eclipse. Have you been to any other states besides California that you know of?
Texas.
You've been to Texas, right? Well, again, if you were in Texas on April 8th, you'd have a nice shot. So maybe you talk to your parents, you go, hey, listen, we've been to Texas once. Let's roll to Texas on the 7th, just to make sure we're there on the 8th, and then we'll come back on the 9th or whatever. But that's the path where people will be able to view the total eclipse. And how often do these happen? Well, it doesn't happen all the time. So between 2 and 5 eclipses occur every year, but a total eclipse happens only every 18 months. And because you can't see the total eclipse everywhere, you can only see it in the same place every 400 years.
Wow.
So some people may never see it. And nobody's going to see it again, right? Because if it's only every 400 years,
In that spot, you can travel.
Right, you can travel, but what I'm saying is in that spot.
Yes.
Okay. So nice of our producer, Mackenzie, to make sure that we all understood that yes, you can see them, just not in the same spot. Clarification right there. So what does the solar eclipse depend on? All right. You need the moon to be a new moon. When it appears black, that's a new moon. So, and because of the degree, the tilt of the Earth and moon traveling around the Earth and when it lines up with the sun, you can see it tilts 5 degrees relative to Earth's orbit. That means you're only going to be able to have that intersection happening in 2 places.
Yeah.
All right, kind of makes sense, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, so that is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is that phone number. We do have today available for you in case you want to call in and have one of your math homework problems done. But right now, one of the things that I really like is how mathematics is in patterns and sequences. Have you ever heard of the Fibonacci sequence?
No.
Well, you're going to hear about it today. It is near and dear to my heart, the Fibonacci sequence.
Hello, so my name is Mark Musa, and today I'll be explaining the Fibonacci sequence on the piano and then playing it for you. And so the Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers. So let's say it's 0 and 1. When we put 0 and 1 next to each other, it adds up to 1. Then the 1 from 0 and 1 adds up to the other 1, which adds up to 2, and so on and so forth. So in the spiral, or the golden rectangle, which is done on graphing paper, 2 squares here add up to 2. So when they add up to 2, the next number would be 3 because 1 plus 2 equals 3. And so then 2 and 3 equals 5, 3 and 5 equals 8, and so on and so forth. I've written the letters and their numbering on a piece of lined paper. As you can see, it says D sharp is 0, E is 1, F sharp is 2, G sharp is 3, A is 4, B is 5, C sharp is 6, D sharp is 7, E is 8, and F sharp is 9. So I'm gonna play it now, and this is how it's going to sound. And that was a Fibonacci sequence on the piano. Thank you very much.
There we go, nicely done right there. Fibonacci sequence is very cool, and who knew that you could put the Fibonacci sequence to music and have it sound like that? That was just a beautiful piece right there.
That was beautiful.
So maybe next year you can do it on drums or something, maybe? Do you play an instrument, Marylou?
Actually, I used to play the drums.
Well, oh, see that? I didn't even know that. There you go. There's a little drummer in studio with us. The little drummer girl, Marylou. All right, so you practice that over the summer because today's the last day. See, if we had shows next week, you'd be doing that next week.
No.
But you're off the hook right now because today's the last show. So you've got a whole couple of months to practice the Fibonacci sequence on the drums. What do you think, dude? Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we're in agreement up here, 2 against 1. And I'm sure you'll come around too, so there we go. Right now, we're going to go downstairs and check in with our friends from Science for Kern.
All right, hey, here today we are for our Science for Kern Challenge, and today we have Michelle. Thank you for coming.
It's great to be here today.
All right, so tell us what we're going to be doing today.
Well, today we have a seasonal challenge for the students to participate in today, and we call this the Basket Building Challenge. Our mission today is to build a basket with the materials that we have provided. We have nothing more than what we have on the table. So we have a selection of bendable straws, we've got 5 rubber bands, we have 20 of our pipe cleaners here. You can use the scissors to cut anything that you need to cut today. We have a length of thread, we have a selection of popsicle sticks, and we also have here at the end of the table a limited amount of masking tape that you can use to actually build your basket. Now, you will be testing your basket a little later in the show, and you'll need the constraint is this: it needs to hold 6 plastic eggs when you hop. When you hop with your basket. Some other things to think about: you cannot build a lid on your basket, and as many baskets as possible need to stay inside when you hop, okay? 6 eggs. 6 eggs in the basket. Are you ready? Ready, set, build.
I think we should start with the base. We don't make a lid.
All right, you guys have your plan, right?
So do you think it would?
Can I make it? You guys are going for the weaving?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we started.
So tell us a little bit about your plan.
Alright, so we're trying to like kind of weave it out like maybe like this, and then we'll have like them like go through like kind of like up down.
Okay.
And we'll add some more. It'll like cover more space, and there might be some holes in it, but like as long as it's not big enough to make the eggs fall out, it'll be fine. And like we had I'm thinking of like kind of connecting it and then in the end, kind of like that. Like come down.
Okay. Are you planning to use any other materials other than the pipe cleaners?
We're planning to use these little sticks and the tape.
So what we kind of want to do is we want to get the basket built first.
Okay.
And then we're going to add some extra stuff to help keep it in.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go ahead and start building, and we'll pop over here.
All right, well, while these kids are getting their brains going to create their basket, we'll send it back to you, Mike, and when you come back, we'll see what you're building.
All right, thanks for that, Sam, and nice to see those guys, some of the ideas that they're coming up with at the very beginning. And I greatly anticipate this hopping.
Yes.
That's going to happen, and we'll
excited
see
to
how
see
many
it.
of those eggs stay in their containers or whatever. All right, young man, you ready to get to work?
Yeah.
All right, head on over to
right.
the board. You and Marylou are going to work on this first
grab a
problem.
pen?
So we're going to work on number 5. It's 37 over 100.
Can you write that, 37 over 100? There you go.
And you need to write that as a decimal.
So tell me what you know about fractions to decimals.
Decimals are like fractions, except you just put a 0 and a point.
You put a 0. Well, what does that mean? Show me what that looks like as a decimal. So how do you read this?
0.37.
Okay. And how do we read this?
37 over 100.
So we could read this as 37 hundredths. We can also read this the same. Is this also, what place value? Can I ask you what place value the 3 is in?
The tenths.
What place value is the 7 in?
The hundreds.
Hundredths. So can we also read this as 37
100.
hundredths? Yes. So that's why our fractions and our decimals go hand in hand, because we write it as we read it. And that's why it's so important to read it as 37 hundredths and not necessarily 0.37, because these two mean the same thing.
That was a nice one right there. So let's go on to number 6. So we have 8 and 11 hundredths.
Okay, can you write that for me over here?
8
whole,
and 11 hundredths.
And then we have, I think this is 8 whole. This is a whole number. And we have a fraction of 11 100ths. So if this is our whole number, I'm going to take that away, our whole number, thinking about how you wrote out our decimals, we know that this is the tenths, right? I'm going to put a T, and we know that this is our hundredths. Then what place value would this be?
The one, I mean like the ones.
You said it, the ones. So this is our ones, correct?
Yeah.
So then if we have 8 and 11 hundredths, how would you write that as a decimal then? There you go. So our 8 is in what place value?
The ones.
The ones, and then we have the 11, which we know ends in the
hundreds.
Hundreds. All right, there you go.
You guys are well on your way. Erase the board. We have a brand new
All right,
problem.
hit that red X for me.
All right, there are 100 pennies in a dollar.
So
What fraction of a dollar is 61 pennies? Write it as a fraction, a decimal, and in word form.
Okay, so we have 100 pennies in $1.
Correct.
And then, say that one more time.
What fraction of a dollar is 61 pennies?
Oh, 61. So
And we
what
need
do
to
you
write it
think?
as a fraction, a decimal, and in word form.
Ooh, a fraction, a decimal, and word form?
Correct.
Okay. So first off, which one would you like to write? Would you like to write the fraction, the decimal, word form?
Fraction.
Okay. How do we write 61 pennies as a fraction?
61 100.
Okay, can you write that for me there? And how did you know it was 61/100ths?
Because there's 61, because pennies are in the hundreds place.
Okay. And so how did I then write that as a decimal?
61/100ths.
Okay, write that for me. And then as a word, how do we write that as word form?
I don't know.
Okay, so what did you just tell me? How did you read this correctly?
61/100ths.
Can we write it as 61/100ths? We don't need to say 1/100ths. We just need to say 61/100ths. So can you write in word form 61? And then we're going to write hundredths underneath that. And remember the difference between hundred, hundredths. We have that THS at the end. Yep, 61/100ths. I think we have an extra N in there. Is that correct?
Just make it a D.
Okay,
Make the final N a D.
that one. Make that a D for me. There you go, hundredths.
There we go.
So we have it as a fraction, you have it as a decimal, and now you have it in
Word form.
word form.
All right, nicely done. Well, for some great work so far this afternoon, you've got yourself a pass to any sport courtesy of CSB Athletics. So I know that they've got baseball going on right now, they've got softball going on, and maybe even some swimming, diving events going on
Yeah.
still. I'm not sure, but you just check the website and you'll be able to go to any event you like. All right, we'll be back with more right after this.
Today we're at the Kern County Science Fair. Each of the students who are here today are winners of their school science fair. Our middle schoolers and our high schoolers, they're vying this year for the first place spot in their category. Our first place winners will get to go on to the California State Science Fair. In our senior division, our high schoolers are actually, there's a special panel walking the floor today who's looking for our top 2 projects in our senior division overall, and those students will represent Kern County at the International Science and Engineering Fair. It's a huge, huge honor that's sponsored and funded by the Kern County Science Foundation.
Your category that you put here, or is this the results of them taking the test?
So this is basically the percentages that they got on their Myers-Briggs test.
Okay.
We have about 550 students here today, ranging from 4th grade through high school. We have about 220 judges from various industries and organizations throughout the county volunteering their time. I've personally been judging for about 25 years. This is a passion of mine. I started with my kids doing science fair, and I just love watching the kids doing this, the joy in their faces of being able to talk about their own work and how proud they make me feel. And I love giving back to the community.
Much thing because it's all like hollowed together, but this one has very, like the aluminum has very much space, so it has room to vibrate.
I am looking for the scientific knowledge of the student. I'm making sure that what they think is going to happen is supported by their data and why. And do they do it enough time to really get the good conclusion out of the material? Because, you know, a one time could be a fluke. Multiple times, we can get the good answer. And you know, every time you have a hypothesis, you may prove yourself wrong. But if you can understand why you did it wrong or why your hypothesis is wrong, that's learning.
I wanted to find different substitutes to modern antibiotics, and so I decided to test different spices. And so I found out that cinnamon is the most effective, and garlic, which I hypothesized to be the most effective, was actually the least effective. And there can be many reasons. One is I didn't use raw garlic, and so that's something I can improve upon in the future. I'm actually very intimidated at first, but when I'm talking to the judges, it's like a flow, and it comes out naturally because I worked on this for a whole semester, and it's my hard work.
I'm amazed at some of the projects that we see here. Like 6th graders doing high school level and even beyond that, answering questions that would be answered in a master's program. And I'm serious about that, a master's level program. It's amazing. I'm just so excited for the future.
All right, always fun to see the Kern County Science Fair going on, and nice to see a lot of students that have been guests on the Do the Math program over the years still participating in the Kern Science Fair right there. So We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Today is the final live broadcast for Do the Math for our 22nd season. We have Jude, a 4th grade student from Columbia Elementary, in studio working with us today. Right now we're going to head back downstairs, check in with Sam and Michelle, and see how they're doing with these baskets.
Where the eggs gonna go?
All right, we're back here, and kids have been busy working. We're going to keep checking in with them and see how they're doing.
All right, so students, tell us a little bit about, show us what you've done so far, and tell us a little bit about why you have designed your basket the way that you have so far.
We've designed it like this. We're going to put a bunch of these down. We've divided it into fourths on every single side.
Okay.
And we are going to then, after we're done, interlock them like this around, so then it doesn't, so they will be harder for it to escape.
Harder for what to escape?
Harder for these 6 eggs.
Harder for the 6 eggs to hold in there. So tell me a little bit about, so what's it going to, I'm having trouble picturing what you're doing. So is the basket actually going to go this way, or
Like
the
this.
eggs going to go in this way?
They're going to go in this way, and we're going to tie them all together at the bottom.
Oh,
Like this.
right. I've got it. I've got it. So so how many more pipe cleaners are you planning to put
We are
on the
planning
sides?
5 more pipe cleaners.
Okay, a couple more here, a couple more there. All right, so I'm going to let you keep working, and we'll come back in a couple of minutes. All right, gentlemen, tell us a little bit about what you've done so far,
So currently,
and why you've done what you've done so far.
we place the
popsicle sticks?
Yeah. We use the popsicle sticks as the base, and then we're taking the straws, putting them in the corners, and then we're wrapping the pipe cleaners around the inside to make it more of a basket, like.
It's kind of like a pyramid.
Okay, so a pyramid shape. So I'm imagining then, so these pieces here are going to come together in this tray?
Kind of. It's gonna have a rubber band, so it's not fully closed. For the eggs to go in.
Yeah, so
Okay. So why the triangular shape? Why the pyramid type shape at the top of your basket? What are you hoping to achieve with that?
The pyramid will make it so the eggs come out of the top easier.
Oh, okay.
And it's also just a good way of using space.
Okay. Are you planning to close in the sides at all in any way? Tell me a little bit about that.
We're gonna use these.
We're just gonna keep stacking them.
Okay. We're just gonna keep on wrapping it around. So then the eggs won't be able to go in this part.
Do you have any plans to use rubber bands or string?
We're
in your
gonna
design?
use rubber band. We're gonna cut one rubber band and use it as the holder. So when it goes up and down, there's less.
All right, got it. All right. Well, we'll let you go ahead and keep working, and we'll check in a little bit later. Let's check in on the ladies, see how they're coming. Oh, wow. Check out this basket shape we have going here. Truly an Easter basket. Exceptional. Tell us a little bit about your design.
Okay. So we're kind of making it like a net, kind of, and we kind of use these holes to they're not big enough for the eggs to fall through, but they're big enough to cover enough space so all 6 eggs will fit in it. So yeah.
Are we guys using these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're planning to afterwards we're probably gonna make a taller wall around it, and then maybe a top part to make sure that it's not easy.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the why this sort of design here for your sides. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I guess we're planning to. It's kind of like a wall, I guess, and it just also continues on with the idea that it's not big enough for it to fall through, but it still takes up space.
Okay.
Take the eggs. So then you can put it around the place, and then it becomes taller, so then it's harder to make it fall out.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what's going on over here.
So another thing we might do is we might attach this at the top, so bring those in to attach it to kind of bring it to a close, and that would help keep the wall kind of solid.
Oh, yeah.
And we're also considering, like, the reason we made this, let's say we're kind of considering putting those in and there and attaching it like that to also make the wall taller.
Okay, so potentially to add a little bit of stability?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. All right, well, these kids have a lot of work ahead of them, and they've got all their brains, I think they have their plan ready. And so next time you see us, we'll start doing some tests, right?
We'll do some, we're going to be bunny hopping.
Oh, yeah. All right, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, we'll check out the bunny hopping a little bit. Not quite like the Irish River dance we did a couple of days ago, but always some amusement with the movements. All right, you ready to get back to work?
Yes.
All right, head back on over to the board, you and Marylou, because earlier you said you wanted to do a little bit with area and perimeter. So Marylou, if you would be so kind, put a rectangle up there.
All right, so let's get our shapes and let's get a rectangle. Oh, wait a minute, that's not a rectangle. I know I tapped on that.
Well, we can do circles, but let's start easier with the rectangles.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, they're buzzing you big time. You're not getting rectangle. You need to move over to...
Okay, hold on. Maybe you can get the...
All right, so let's get rid of
for
these.
Me.
There you go. All right,
See
so let me...
Thank you.
What are you giving me the buzzer for, brother? It's right there. What are you talking about? All right, so there it is. I got you another little one, but anyway.
Right.
So up on the top, let's mark that 8 feet.
Can you mark that 8 feet for me on top? Okay, make sure you put feet down. Our units. We want to make sure we include our units.
And let's make the other side, you can just mark the left or right, whichever one you like. Let's make that 3 feet.
Okay.
So together, I'd like you to work on the perimeter and area of that shape.
So first off, let's talk about perimeter. What do you know about perimeter?
Not really. I kind of forgot about it.
Do you remember area?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about perimeter first. Do you have a track at school?
Yeah.
Do you run around the track?
Yeah.
That's perimeter. So this is, let's pretend that this is your track. So if this is our start point right here, we're going to run all the way around the perimeter of the track. So we're running around the track. So that's our perimeter. It's the outside, measuring the length of the outside. So if I start here and I run all the way to here, how far did I run?
8 feet.
Oh, I ran 8 feet, okay. And then if I went from this point to this point, how far did I run?
3 feet.
So I ran another 3 feet. And then if I ran all the way to here, where did I run?
8 feet.
Oh, I ran another 8 feet. And then if I went all the way up to the end, how far did I run?
3 feet.
Ran another 3 feet. So what do you think we're going to do with all these numbers?
Add them.
Add them up. Okay, can you add those up for me?
Mm-hmm.
How are you thinking to add those up?
8 and then 8 and 8 and 3 and 3.
Oh, okay. So what's 8 plus 8?
16.
Oh, that's 16. Okay. And then you said 3 plus 3.
Yeah.
What is that?
6.
Okay. And then can we add those together? So I really like how you thought that out, because you did what, like the associative property, right?
Yeah.
You thought, okay, wait a minute, I'm not going to go in order. I know that I could go 8 plus 8, then I could go 3 plus 3, and then we could put those numbers together to get what?
22.
22. 22 what? What's our unit of measurement?
Feet.
Feet. So we ran 22 feet total around the
Track.
perimeter, around the track. Can you put feet for me there? So knowing that, is there another way that you think that you could add those quickly, or do you like how you went, oh, 8 and 8?
I like that.
Okay, so if you know if this is 8 feet, then what is this going to be?
8 feet.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little dash. So you know that that's also 8 feet, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to put an FT. If this is 3 feet, then what do we know about this side?
It's 3 feet.
Oh, it's 3 feet as well. So we know the opposite sides are exactly the
same.
They're the same, huh? So I'm going to put 2 little dashes to show that. So that's perimeter. So perimeter again is the outside.
So I'm going to have you guys hang right there. So
Okay.
that's the perimeter first, because we can do a lot of different things with this shape. But right now we're going to find out about another career path.
We really cover a very large gamut of graphics-related industries. They could be a photographer, they could be a printer, they could be a designer, they could be a screen printer. You know, we do all those things in the class.
Often you sit in a class and you think, oh, okay, I'm just taking this so I can get credit. But then when everything unfolds for you and you see all these exciting opportunities, you know, you get on board.
I enjoy the photography part, mostly the portraits. I like editing them. It doesn't take me long. Trying to figure out the camera, the settings, and the aperture mostly just focuses on the background and stuff.
Don't get into it if you don't like photography and if you don't like creativity and you think it's going to be an easy A, because it's not an easy A. It's a lot of work. It has to be a lot of work, and then Fitz is really good about giving instruction and telling us what to do and if we need help.
Right in here, see the laser? That's where you're gonna put that mark on the laser, and this knob right here turns that.
Mark is an awesome teacher. You'd be hard-pressed to find a teacher that's more hardworking than Mark. He makes brochures. He takes all the class pictures for all the sports teams. He also does work for the community, he and his students.
And I went to help him last Saturday, and we did pictures for the basketball kids. And I like the atmosphere, all the little kids like taking pictures.
You want to use that sharp corner, pull that down, just like this, so that that's all clear. Oh, okay. I'm trying to show them the value in what I'm teaching them. I tell them, I'm a perfect example. I took this class. I went out into the real world, and when I needed a job, I got a job doing what I learned in this class. And then I came back here and I've been teaching for this long, but still doing what I learned in this class.
My husband and I decided to start a screen printing business here in town, and we wanted to keep the t-shirt making business here local, so we took that on. We were pretty successful for about 8 years, and we decided to part ways with the business, but it was actually really fun while it lasted, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't learn what I learned in this class.
It's a really great experience, and it's a really great skill to know you have, just to put on your resume. Graphic communications. It's a skill that not a lot of people have, and we get to learn it here, which is really cool.
This gives them an extra step and an extra opportunity to be able to secure employment while they follow their dreams or their goals.
I had a student last year tell me that he hates school. And I looked at him and I said, you're my personal challenge this year. And I said, before the end of this year, you're gonna love this class. He is now an advanced student this year because he loved this class. And he wrote me a note that said, Mr. Fitz, I never would have believed it, but thanks for turning me around. Not just your class, but for all my classes. There's nothing better that you can hear as a teacher than that right there.
All right, always great to see you. Nice to see the kids getting into something that they actually enjoy and want to do, and a possible career pathway right there. All right, we're going to go down and check in with the kids once again. Michelle and Sam, how are they coming along?
All right, baskets are pretty much done, and now it's time to test, right?
Yeah, it's ready for the big bunny hop off. So let's start, students. So it's time for our hop test. Is there a group that would like to volunteer to go first? All right, this group will go first then. You got your hand up first. So I want you to step out to that side of the table on that end. Let's move out that way. And I want you to tell us, before we do a hop, I want you to tell us a little bit, right here next to me, I want you to tell us a little bit about your design.
We made it like those popcorn things you can get at the movies, like the paper cones.
Okay.
And then we added like a barrier so the eggs can't like fall out.
Okay, so you're calling this up top. We might have a little technical debate here about your design, because one of the criteria around your build was it couldn't have a lid. So you're calling these popsicle cross beams on top.
It's kind of like a...
They're kind of like a lid, aren't they?
What?
So since you said that they were there to help keep the eggs in, before you do your big test, let's go ahead and take those off, because those are wah, 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 wah. So what we're going to do with your group is I'm going to let you go over here and take them off, because I don't want to destroy your basket. And then we're going to test you next. Ladies, who's our hopper? Come on up and tell us about your basket. Tell us a little bit about your design, and then we'll do the 10-second hop.
We went with the traditional way of an Easter basket, round.
Okay, and how did you think, or why did you think this would be an effective design for your basket to keep the eggs in?
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, but we'll see how it works. How about that? So are you ready for a one-legged hop? Students, you want to count with me? 10 seconds, ready, set. We're going to count backwards. Ready, set, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Way to go there. Nicely done. All right, boys, are we still working on taking that lid off? Okay, we'll come back here. We'll come to this group now.
Can I hold it from
All
the bottom?
right.
Can I hold it from the bottom? Hold it from
All right. Okay. That's fine. Come on out and tell us a little bit about your design.
We tried to get it to a cage. We used the popsicle sticks as the bottom. Tried to use these as the main things, and then we tied piping cleaners around the straws.
Okay, so are you ready? Students, count with me. We're going to do the 10-second hop off. Ready, set, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 2 successful baskets. Very good. All right, come on up. Let's test our third basket. Are you ready? Yep, that looks awesome. Count with me, everybody. And ready, set, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. That's absolutely fantastic. Everyone, so, students, since we were so successful with the 6-egg challenge, I have a surprise change to today's activity. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, the added challenge now is between now and when we come back, when they come back to us, we are going to try, we're going to do a 10-second hop-off with as many eggs as you think you can modify that basket to hold. All right, how about that?
All right, so we'll be back to you in the studio, and when we get back, we'll have this challenge. All right.
All right, well, hopefully those guys down there find out that Riange was actually doing some nice hopping and moving that basket around down there, so nicely done. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, so we've done the perimeter on that shape over there, so now what I'd like you to do is talk about the area of it.
So if we know that the perimeter is the outside, then what do you think the area is?
The inside.
It's the inside. And we talk about area, we talk about how many units we could put, square units, on the inside of this. So if I have 8 feet across, then how many 1 by 1 units can I fit across here?
8.
8. Then how many 1 by 1 units can I fit down?
3.
3. So if this is a half, and you know what, I'm going to switch our colors here. If we know that this is halfway, right? And I'm going to do this real quick to break this for us to get 8. Do I have 8 rectangles now?
Yeah.
Do we have 8? So we know that we have 8. And then I need how many across? I need 3, okay? So I'm going to break this hopefully equally across. So I need 3. So now, how many total boxes do we have inside?
24.
We have 24. Do you think there's a quicker way to find 24 instead of having to draw this out?
Maybe.
How? How do you think?
Multiply.
Oh, multiply. What am I multiplying?
8 and 3.
8 times 3. So we have 8 times 3, and that equals 24. So what are you noticing, Jude, about the operation we used for perimeter versus the operation I used for area?
No.
What did we use here? What's the strategy?
Addition.
We added everything up, right?
Yeah.
But here, what did you just do?
Multiply.
We multiplied. We know that we had 8 groups of 3 to find the complete area of how many 1 by 1 units we have inside. So when we're finding the perimeter, we're normally we're adding them, right?
Yeah.
But when we find the area, we're doing what?
Multiplying.
We're multiplying. And to write this correctly, here you put 22 feet, right? But here we have 24. 24 what? What are these? What did we create on the inside?
Squares.
Squares. So we have 24 square feet because that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find how many squares can fit on the inside. So can we try one more?
Well, what I was going to say is, before you do anything else, write 24 square feet with the exponent so he gets familiar with that also.
So we have 24 square feet, which also is written as 24, and we have FT because that's what we use for feet. And a little exponent, and the exponent is called 2. It's the 2 because the 2 represents square. So this as 24 feet squared, or 24 squared feet is the correct way to say it.
There you go. Nicely done. All right, so erase the board. I'm going to give you guys a quick one to do right now. So let's go ahead and put a rectangle up there real quick.
Oh, okay.
You just draw it. You can just...
Thank you.
Just draw it. So instead of multiplying like that by drawing everything out and adding it the way you were doing it before, I want to see if you can do things a little bit quicker now that you've got the idea.
Okay.
All right. So let's make the top, the length, let's make that 5.
Do you want to make that 5 for me?
And the sides 2. And we'll keep them at feet. So we have 5 feet by 2 feet.
Look at right there. What would go down here? Okay.
And go ahead, and we need perimeter and area. Go.
All right, walk me through this. What's our perimeter?
It's 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2.
Okay. Do you know what 5 plus 5 is?
10.
Okay, can we just start with 10?
Yeah.
And 10 plus what?
4.
What's 10 plus 4?
14.
So what's our perimeter?
14.
Okay, so let's write P equals, the P stands for perimeter, so let's write P equals, what was it?
410.
Okay. And it's, are we going to do feet? Okay, we'll do feet. So do FT.
And then quickly, the area would be?
And what's our area?
The inside.
Okay. And so what two numbers am I multiplying?
5 and 2.
What's 5 times 2?
10.
Okay. Can you put A equals? And put the FT, and then do you remember what we put after the FT? What number, little number do we put?
2.
Right, put that 2.
There you go, nicely
Nice,
done.
good
10 square
job.
feet. All right, very cool. Hey, you know what? We're going to take a little break right now and find out what it's like to be an engineer.
Hi, I'm Jessie Horlitza, and I'm a NASA engineer. Today, I've come back to the place where I was inspired to become an engineer to see if I can get students excited about maybe becoming an engineer too. What do you think an engineer does?
Well, really create stuff, I guess. Works on buildings.
I think it's just mostly about math and a lot of building, I don't know.
So what do you think an engineer does all day?
I think they build all day.
Yep, they build all day, they design things. So I like to think of an engineer as someone who solves puzzles for a living. Would that be so cool?
Yeah. They have to program things that along with coding.
Is it something that you might want to do when you grow up?
To be like a vet.
Or an engineer? Do you think that would be really cool building stuff for a living?
Yeah.
So I like to think of engineers as building things to make the world a better place. Does that sound like something you might be interested in?
Yeah.
What do you think an engineer looks like?
Like it has a yellow helmet, it has like a little jacket, it has tools inside its pocket. They have a helmet, looks young, like some safety glasses. They wears black. They have a jacket, but it's short sleeve. And then they would have some excellent shoes. They can look like anyone.
Anyone, yeah, exactly. I'm actually an engineer, did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, awesome. So everything you see, the plane over there, the building, engineers designed and built those things. Isn't that so cool? What's your favorite thing that you've ever built?
A trampoline.
A trampoline? Wow.
My favorite thing to build is mini airplanes or origami.
What is your favorite NASA program?
I would say Artemis or maybe the Mars mission.
What we're gonna do with Artemis is we're gonna send humans back to the moon and then on to Mars. Is that something you might wanna do?
Yeah.
We could use so many more engineers. You should totally become an engineer. How old are you?
6.
So you're just about the age that I was. And when I took a tour of Space Center Houston, I knew that I wanted to become an engineer. So hopefully you'll learn about some really cool stuff today that might inspire you to become an engineer. Do you think that would be cool?
Super cool.
Super cool. It's never too early to introduce a student in your life to engineering. Go to stem.nasa.gov to find fun ways to spark an interest today.
All right, well, we have one more opportunity to check in on the engineers downstairs. Let's check in with them. Sam, Michelle?
All right, we're back here, and kids have made some modifications to see how many eggs they can actually fit.
And you can feel the excitement in the room. And I have some surprise constraints for the hop-off here in a second. All right, so boys here in the middle, who's going to be your hopper on this test? All right, well, come on up. And so students, I want you to watch. I'm going to add, I have some surprise moves for the hop-off. So we're going to add some drama to our challenge today. I want you to turn around that way. You're the first lucky victim. Come back this way. And this is going to be our start line. And a couple things. Number one, you're actually going to hop across the room to our wall there that comes out. That's how far you have to hop. You're going to cover some ground, and you actually have to hold, oops, we'll get that back in there, that didn't count. Let me demonstrate. You actually have to hold from the top. You can't hold from the bottom. thing. Okay, that would be a lid, and a lid is not allowed. All right, so I'm going to let you put that back together, and I'm going to get my big old hand out of the way.
All right, how many eggs you have in there?
All right.
We haven't counted. We'll count when we're done.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So I just gotta make it to the other side.
Are you ready?
Do I just have to hop to the other
You
side?
got to hop to that. Ready, set, hop. All right, well done. We got one casualty, and so while the next group hops, I want the gentleman at this table to quietly count how many eggs do you have in there and be ready to tell us in a moment for the big dramatic reveal. Come on up, ladies.
4, 5, 6.
All right. All right, here's our starting line right here. There's like this little line in the carpet. All right, nice strategy there. Holding. Ready, set, hop. All right, well done. Go ahead and have a seat and count your eggs up for us and be ready for the big reveal. All right, last group. Okay. Are you ready? Let's dump those eggs in.
I'm gonna guess. That's got a basket.
We're loading up our eggs in the basket. Who's our hopper?
Wait. We need some more.
Okay. We're going to try to put more in. Ooh, brave. All right.
Oh, right there.
Can't put the tape on the side, though. We can tape the stick on. There we go. We just can't have the tape touch the eggs. All right, guys, that's it. Time's up.
I think we're going to lose them.
Oh! All right. It looks like it's holding there. All right, come on over, guys. Where's our hopper? And you see this line right here in the carpet? That's our official. That's our very fancy official start. Are you ready? Ready, set, hop. That's fantastic. Come on over. And we're counting. Not the ones on the floor. We're not counting. Did it come out at the end?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how you do over there. Go count, and then we may add these as bonus eggs. All right. So let's see. How many here in the center?
13.
13. And how about here?
16.
Oh, 16. And how about over here?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
11 plus the 4 more that
15.
happened that were there
15.
before the egg catastrophe at the big bend in the wall there.
Yeah, that's debatable.
So, but still not enough. Who's our winner?
Back there.
All right. Clear winner. So, ladies, tell us a little bit about your design and what do you think added to the success of your basket in the end?
Well, in the beginning, we were just thinking about the web part and how to cover up the space, but not use so many materials. And that was too small our first try for all these eggs. So we decided to add a little bit more space, up here, a wall. It could fit more eggs in it. And so we did that, and then we basically just squished the eggs in it. Some of them were sticking out halfway, so it's half the space of an egg. But because the hole was just small enough so the other half can't slip through, so that way it made it so then there's more space in the basket itself.
Yeah, you guys did a wonderful
Fantastic
job. Good job to everybody.
And good job to everyone today.
All
Good
right,
job, Jenny
back to
Hoppers.
you. Thank you, Science for Kern, for this project. We'll see you next time.
All right, a lot of fun down there. Thanks to Jude for coming in today, Marylou as well. Thanks to all the people behind the scenes that you don't always see, Joel, Junior, Brian, Willie, John, Brian, Sophia, Mackenzie, everybody. Thanks for a great season. We'll see you in September for number 23. Until then, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.